All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again. Thank y'all so much for coming over. So what was Diddy's reaction when the judge gave him the 50 months in prison? I was waiting for the Law and Crime Network channel to post something, but the video I seen from them, they had just got the news in and the reporter was outside. So this is what was going on inside the courtroom. Again, man, I think he got lucky um, because the judge could have gave him way more time. When I was watching that video, the way they were talking about how the judge was saying, he was just kind of going over everything that was said in the trial, the stuff that he's seen and heard. And it seemed like he was going to go with the higher, the 5 to 7, which everybody thought. But again, when you break it all down, he got like 2 years and some change. So let's see what his reaction was. We ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
And turning now to our other top story of the night, Sean Diddy Combs has been sentenced to more than 4 years in prison. Over the summer, the music mogul had been found guilty of the charges. CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman was in the courtroom today in Manhattan and joins us now. Katrina, thanks for being with us here tonight. Going into today, there was the potential Combs could have even been out within weeks. So how did he react when he heard that sentence?
You know, Nancy, what was notable was how little reaction there was. He looked down at his hands. They were clasped in his lap, and he just looked defeated. The same with his family. It was very quiet in that courtroom, very solemn, and it was a drastic difference from earlier because this day stretched on for a really long time. Many people spoke in court, his attorneys, and most notably his children. That was extremely emotional. They were crying. They were talking about how much they respect their father and how hard it has been for them to not have him around, especially his children who lost their mother, Kim Porter. His lawyer, Nicole Westmoreland, also broke down crying when she talked about Sean Combs. She said that he had changed her life. And then Sean Combs himself got up and spoke in court. And he said that what's been really hard for him during this trial is having to be silent, not being able to speak on his own behalf. He said that his actions were disgusting, they were shameful, and they were sick. He said that he's not a larger-than-life person. He is a human being, and that he got lost in the excess, in the ego. His voice was shaking. He was crying today. I saw him wiping tears from his face in court.
Something very, very important to remember here. When he originally wrote that like Cassie came out and said something about what she's going to be suing him for, and his response was the whole, I can't believe they're doing this and did this and trying to make me seem like I'm this and I'm not. It's disgusting. And then the video footage came out of what happened at the hotel, and then he didn't really apologize, but he addressed it. And now it's like he's been sitting in there, reality hit that you are going to jail, because I'm pretty sure his lawyers were like, how they were pushing for him to get out, like with the time served, like he shouldn't be even in jail anymore. So, probably in his head, he was thinking maybe he could get out. There was a chance, but once it hit and you heard, like, even though it's not a lot of time, but the fact that he's still going to be in there, and I also think about like the kids crying and this and this and that. And you look at them, how old they are, and you look at how old Cassie was when Diddy met her and did all those things or whatever. So it's like, I don't know, he still got lucky to me. But, I know that he's apologizing and he's taking accountability now, but what is prison going to look like for Diddy? Is he going to be in some type of protected custody? Are they going to keep him away from people? Is somebody going to try to get to him? because I think it was some reports about him, someone trying to, shank him. Yeah.
He's not a larger than life person. He is a human being, and that he got lost in the excess, in the ego. His voice was shaking. He was crying today. I saw him wiping tears from his face in court. And he ultimately said that he is humbled and he's broken. He said, "I hate myself right now," before the judge and before this sentence came down.
So, Katrina, prosecutors, though, they had wanted this sentence to be 11 years. What did the judge say when they actually handed this down?
So ultimately, the judge decided to give him this sentence of 50 months incarceration, 5 years of supervised release. And this is actually lower, it's significantly lower than what the prosecution wanted. That was about 11 years. And then the probationary recommendation was 7 years.
Yeah.
Now, Sean Combs' team, they wanted only up to 14 months. So he did end up getting significantly more than that. What the judge said, though, is he began when he delivered this sentence by very warmly talking about all that Sean Combs has accomplished, the things that we heard today, how devoted he is to his family, how he broke barriers as a Black man, his entrepreneurship. But then there was this shift in tone, and he got very serious, and he ultimately said that there was just an overwhelming amount of evidence in this case. The actions that Sean Combs took against his ex-girlfriends, Cassie Ventura and a woman who went by Jane, who testified in this courtroom, the violence, the psychological and physical against them. And he said that he had to give a significant sentence for the purpose of deterrence, and because he believes that Sean Combs still could potentially pose a danger. He thinks that he needs more time in prison, but said that he will ultimately get his life back on the other side of this.
Katrina Kaufman, thank you for your reporting throughout this process. We appreciate it. And you can watch CBS News' one.
I mean, even I forget how old Diddy is. I know he's in his 50s, but I think most of the world who are like, because even myself, I'm like, dang, again, when you break it down, he's only getting 2 years and some change. I think most people would have been like, if he would have got the 7 years and then you knock off the time, so it would have been like maybe closer to 5 years. I think a lot of people probably would have been like, okay, that's something, because I told y'all before, a lot of people don't think he's going to ride off into the sunset, meaning that when he gets out, they think he may go back to his old ways. And, the judge is saying you need more time in jail to do more self-reflection and really understand, and you need to change. I told y'all, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. He done paid his team, his lawyers, but he didn't get that bail. But when he get out of jail, he's still going to have a big chunk of money. I do believe that some up-and-coming artists are going to want to work with him, just because what's really sad is that Diddy going to jail, and not like for life, the fact that he's getting out, he's going to be able to use that for people. Like, look, you want to be an artist, come work at Bad Boy, come work here. Like, think about it. I done been through so much. He can say that now. I done been through so much, and look at me, I'm still here. I'm a living example, living proof of you can do this, you can do that, and you can still go through your trials and tribulations and make it as a person. He's going to use that to reel people in, because you got to remember, a lot of these artists know that if they work with Diddy, there's a potential of them working with somebody else. People in the industry aren't going to abandon him because they're part of the industry. You see what I'm saying? Most people were thinking like, oh, they're about to make an example of him. No, the judge literally had it in his hands, and he didn't. He didn't. If this was some regular person being charged and accused with all the things, they probably would have gotten the max. Probably. Um, it's a lot deeper than we think. There's a lot more that didn't get talked about. Uh, as I said before, he got very lucky with the time that he got. Very lucky, extremely lucky. Um, I mean, 2.5 years and then you got probation. Like, he's gonna be able to see his kids, his daughters, their 21st birthday. He's gonna be with them. I told y'all, in our world, time is gonna fly by. He's gonna be like, damn, Diddy is out of jail. But again, I don't know if he's gonna be, again, because he has the money, so he can pay for protection in there. He can pay to get all the luxury, extravagant things that you can get in prison. So, yeah, I know a lot of people are confused and upset, but this is what it looked like when you got a lot of money, you got a lot of pull. Because I knew they weren't gonna give him the max of 20 years, which both things, 10 years for both charges, but 2.5 years, man. Damn. But me personally, I know people like I I know a lot of people that went through things and have changed somewhat, but I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe that he's going to change. I mean, the whole thing is called Bad Boy, and I feel like he needs to live up to that. But we'll see. But I just wanted to hear what his reaction was, or the courtroom's reaction. Appreciate y'all coming over and watching, man. Peace out.